All right, it's that time in the morning when we take a look at the coronavirus by the numbers. And new data from Mecklenburg County shows your mask wearing and social distancing is paying off. Last week, Novant Health said we were past the peak of new cases in Charlotte, and the latest numbers support that. We're seeing fewer and fewer new cases per day. Just over 100 people tested positive yesterday compared to our all-time high a few weeks ago in early July of 419. And the percentage of positive tests also going down. At one point, nearly 14% of COVID-19 tests coming back positive in Mecklenburg County. That number yesterday, just 8%. Hospitalizations starting to drop slightly as well. Right now, there are just over 150 people battling serious cases in the county. Doctors expect that number to keep dropping in the coming days. We've started to see similar trends statewide, but North Carolina did have a jump in new cases yesterday. 1,600 people tested positive for COVID-19, and the percentage of positive tests up slightly to 9%. One day, though, is not going to alarm experts too much. Meanwhile, South Carolina had about 1,200 new cases yesterday. The percentage of positive tests coming back up to 18%, which is really high. So remember, folks, this is far from over, but a few glimmers of hope that we're seeing for several days now.